Have yourself a Verrucosum Christmas. Let your heart be light. And next year all your troubles will be out of sight. Yeah. So have yourself a Verrucosum Christmas now. Happy holidays to my Elroy District family, and happy holidays if you're at it. I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna have to edit that out. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for clicking on this video and spending the holidays with me. In this video, we're going to be talking about Verrucosums and all of its hybrids. Philodendron Verrucosum is my favorite type of plant, so it's only right that I do a video and share what I do as far as care and what I've experienced over the years. And I may add in a couple of other impromptu things throughout this video, but yeah, let's get into it. By the way, I am recovering from a cold. That's why I sound a little congested, so that's what that's all about. All right, let's get some of the nerdy stuff out the way. When it comes to Verrucosum pure species, a lot of the varieties come from Central and South America in cloud forest areas. So that's normally up the mountains on top of high up hills with higher elevation. Therefore, you know, the clouds kind of come in and filter in a lot of the light. It's a whole entire misty environment, and the most important thing is the temperature goes down at night very significantly. So we're talking about 45 degrees Fahrenheit on up to about 70 something degrees. So with that being said, what is that like? What is that environment like? If you go to a cloud forest, I'm pretty sure it's like when you go out to your car in the morning. It's a little bit chilly and your windshield has all those droplets all over it, and it's a, you know, the air is very heavy and moist. That's what a cloud forest is like, and that is the environment that this pure species thrives in. So how can we relate that to care in our house? Well, the most important thing is this plant needs a temperature drop at night. That's the most important thing. That temperature needs to go ahead and back it up and drop it as soon as it gets to those PM hours, or else, you know, in my experience, this plant will start to yellow and drop leaves. So a lot of people might think that humidity is the most important thing, or some type of lighting situation is, nah, it's the temperature drop at night. That's what will keep these Verrucosum pure species going. This Verrucosum right here is called Verrucosum Fantasy. Fantasy. I mean, I do fantasize about this plant just growing up this pole and getting really, really big. I imported this plant and it was very difficult to acclimate. So one thing about a Verrucosum is they take a while to acclimate, you know, but on the bright side of that, it has a very strong will to live. Like, I haven't really had a Verrucosum just completely die on me. They will yellow and drop leaves. They will take it from the top and start back down from the node, but they almost always root in water or sphagnum moss. So if I ever have trouble with them, I can always bring them back. But yeah, summertime, when it's just hot all day and all night, that's when these plants will drop leaves. And this is the perfect time to film this video because it's wintertime, so that's why I have some Verrucosums that are getting started. This one I imported, I chopped it up, and it has this one leaf and another leaf on the way. I believe it has connected into this pole by now. And yeah, this Verrucosum Fantasy, I think that's what it's called, it's going to be very impressive when it starts to grow bigger leaves and climb this pole. So once I figured out that humidity is not that big of an issue when it comes to growing Verrucosums, and they come from a cloud forest with cooler weather, I started to feel like maybe I should try growing this Verrucosum outdoors. So I went to Ecuagenera and got me a Verrucosum #2, or maybe I got it off of a Facebook group, but I decided to plant it in my backyard garden directly into the garden bed, and it grew very well. It liked the cold weather during the winter time. It really liked that. But I ran into one particular issue. Pest. Here are pieces of that Verrucosum that I have grown outdoors. I took some pieces maybe last month, a couple months ago or something, and I propagated them because slugs, caterpillars, spider mites, they got to this plant. That was the challenge of growing it outdoors. So what did I learn from that? Verrucosums do not have a lot of defenses against pests, the type of pests that we have in our house. So you got to think about that. This plant comes from a cloud forest where the air is very thick and heavy. It's cold. You know, it's a whole cloud forest situation. There might not be certain type of spider mites and thrips out there, because I know those kind of pests, they love the warm weather so they can spawn and just tear up your plants. You know, but in a cloud forest where it is cold and it is moist, there's probably other kind of pests, but whatever the pests that we have in our house, these Verrucosums are not equipped to defend themselves against those kind of pests. So that is why a lot of people say these are pest prone. You know, if you're trying to acclimate it, if the plant is not strong and acclimated, the pests will come directly for this plant. So what do I do when it comes to pests? I like to make a neem oil solution, get a bottle of water, neem oil, some soap, a little bit of alcohol. Shake that up, spray the plant down. With Verrucosums, I leave it on there for 5 to 10 seconds, and then I just rinse it off with water. I don't like the neem oil solution to stay on Verrucosum leaves for a very long time. I'd rather for it to get on there, do a little 1-2, and then get rinsed off. I don't want that staying on these leaves indefinitely because they're very thin and delicate. So that's how I combat pests with the Verrucosum, and I do that maybe every month or just whenever the freak I feel like it, you know. So that's what I do to combat pests. So let's move on to acclimation. Verrucosums, is very important that you leave them in a certain spot so that they can acclimate. If they are moved, they will start all over with acclimating. They take a while, but once they lock in and the plant will start growing. So one tip that I can give to you all when it comes to acclimation is, if you get an import and it looks bad when it arrives in the mail, cut it up and make yourself multiples. This one I got out in my yard and I got multiples. Once you pot them up, put them in different locations and see what environment works better for them. So if I put this one in my living room, this one in the bedroom, and this one outside, I'm gonna see which one is doing the best, and that's how I know where this particular Verrucosum will grow best at. Now let's talk about some cool Verrucosum varieties. This one right here is the Verrucosum Eerie Color. Now I grow this one outdoors in the greenhouse, and it does fine, but we've had some struggles during that summertime. When it gets hot, this plant does not do too well. Every new growth will burn out. So the plant ended up not growing because it was too hot, and the new leaf, the new bud, will just melt away, you know. So now that it is winter time, it's doing a lot better. We have like the new growth right there, and I don't know how I'm gonna figure it out when it comes to that hot weather, where I'm gonna place this plant. Maybe I will bring it indoors and put it in my bathroom or something like that, because this does not like that nighttime heat. It will just burn out every new growth, and even some of the lower leaves might yellow and drop. So that is the challenge with these species types. So next I'm going to show you a hybrid that is a lot easier. So if you're scared to grow a regular Verrucosum, then I suggest you stick to the Majestic. This is a Philodendron Majestic. It is a Verrucosum hybrid. It is Soderoy crossed with Verrucosum. Now, this thing is very, very easy. It grows like a weed. It puts up with any type of conditions. I do have multiples of these growing all over the place. I have some outdoors, doing perfectly fine during the winter time, summertime, it doesn't matter. I have some in my dining room right here. Maybe I'll show you those little cuttings. And this one is in my plant room. Now the Majestic is a very good choice because it's cheap and it grows very well. Look at all the features. You get like silver splashing on the leaves, and you also get a red back. Ain't that nice? I know it is. But I like the Majestic. I would say the only thing about the Majestic is it likes a lot of nutrition. So it needs that magnesium and whatnot so that these leaves do not yellow. We got a little bit of yellowing at the edge, but I've been, rectifying that situation by giving it a little bit of Epsom salt and some fertilizer, and it grows just perfectly fine. No other issues, no pest issues, no humidity issues. This plant just goes crazy. So yeah, that's the Majestic, and I highly recommend this one. The next hybrid I have is this Philodendron Splendid. Now the Splendid is just about the hardiest Verrucosum variety that you can get. This is crossed with Melanochrysum and Verrucosum. So it has that hybrid vigor, and this plant just really grows like crazy. I have multiples of these. I have some growing outdoors inside of the garden bed as well. I am determined to make the Philodendron Splendid a outdoor plant for my backyard. So we'll see how that happens. I'll show you a clip of what I have growing in my garden. It's getting started, and it's just handling these 50-degree, higher 40-degree Fahrenheit nights perfectly fine out there in the garden. But yeah, the Splendid, highly recommend this one. It starts off as a seedling a little bit troublesome, but once it gets going, it's just bulletproof. Like overwater, underwater, it puts up with it. High humidity, low humidity, it does well. So yeah, that is the Splendid. The next hybrid I want to show you is the Philodendron Coreanum. I'm not sure what this Verrucosum is crossed with, but it's like a large split leaf philodendron crossed with a Verrucosum. And I just got it. I just got it from Canopy Plant Club. This one is hard to find. But what I am excited about is that this hybrid gets really large. You ever see like the split leaf, the Matophyllums outdoors? That's what this plant kind of turns into, but it's going to look more like a Verrucosum, but just with split leaf edges. So it has a Verrucosum look to it, and it also has a red underside, just like the Verrucosum. But let's see here, the edges are going to start to split, and I feel like that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. So that is the reason why I got this one. As soon as I got it, I cut it up and propagated it, so it's two plants in here. So that's what I got going on with this Philodendron Coreanum. I'll keep you updated on this one because I'm telling you, this one is impressive. So this next plant is a Serpents cross with Verrucosum. Don't judge me on this one because I keep testing the limits of this plant. I just cut it up and made a top cut so that I can multiply this plant and have multiples for the future. But this is how it's looking after I did the top cut. We got some questionable edges on it, but like I said, it's a propagation and it is actively growing. That's all that matters for me. But it has a very fuzzy stem and very colorful underside, and it's two of these plants in here. So this is very easy. This is also an easy hybrid, so I highly recommend one of these. It definitely roots perfectly fine. It connects to a pole very easily, because if you don't know, a lot of the Verrucosum varieties, they don't cling on to a pole and climb up a pole very readily like some of these other philodendrons. It does need to be a lot of moisture in order for them to put out aerial roots and grab on to some type of stake or pole. So now I do want to talk about my favorite Verrucosum of all. That is none other than the Verrucosum Amazon Sunset. Like, come on now. Ain't too many of these plants messing with that Philodendron Verrucosum Amazon sunset. That is just my opinion. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you why I really like it. The Amazon sunset has these striking vein patterns, like it has the pronounced veins, and then once the leaf gets bigger, you'll start to see like the little iridescence inside each vein. And then it has this crazy crimson color back. I've never seen a red back so shiny, so bright. It's just very striking. Even when it's trying to unfurl, you see how bright that red is. And the velvet on it is just crazy. So, you know, this plant is like a subtle party. It's not doing too much in the front, but if you look closely, you see that there is a lot of details. So I really like the details of this plant, and it got the Christmas colors. So why would it not be my favorite? Like, you know, the red, the green with the red, it's giving off a little bit of Christmas vibes, but you know, not in a cheesy way. This is a banger right here, and I'm gonna help y'all to recognize. Now, this plant just propagates very readily, very easy. So if you ever import one of these and it's not in good condition, go ahead and cut it at the nose and propagate it, and you will be rewarded by multiples of this plant. Now, like I said, when it comes to acclimation, you got to put it in a decent spot with medium light. Keep the media moist at all times and leave it there. Don't move it around so much, or else it will start all over when it comes to acclimating. So that's what I learned about this particular Verrucosum right here. Just leave it alone. It'll start to grow. So I do have a few other Verrucosums that I could show you, but I feel like it ain't worth it, and honestly, I just don't feel like it. But what is our takeaway from growing Verrucosums? For one, humidity is not that big of an issue. As long as you growing your Verrucosums in something higher than 50 degrees, I believe that they'll do perfectly fine. Grow them up a pole. Definitely give them some support. I feel like that definitely contributes to the wellness of a Verrucosum. Temperature. The temperature drop at night is very important for all Verrucosum varieties if you want them to thrive and really grow big. Keep the potting media moist. When it comes to light, medium to bright indirect, and you should be fine. Acclimation, very important. If you get one from one of these websites, they do take a while to acclimate, but rest assured that Verrucosums have a very strong will to live. So if anything goes wrong, you can always cut it and propagate it and start it all over again. Praise God. So for those who've been wondering what else been going on around here, well, I've been very, very busy. I got a lot of business. I got like a full plate. So I was just trying to take the holiday season off from doing a lot of filming. But another big thing that I have been doing is I have been growing my own food. Now, when it comes to my gardening and growing edible plants, I'm going to save a lot of that content for TikTok. So I will put my TikTok up. So if you care to follow me on that, I will do that. And one thing that I do want to do, I'll share with this channel a couple times, is I want to do a farm to table experience every once in a while in my YouTube video. So that's when I take something from outdoors in my backyard and I make a quick little edible dish to show you guys. I felt like that'd be fun. Most of that will be on TikTok because that is some TikTok type material, but I also want to share it on my channel every once in a while when I feel like it. And today we celebrating the holiday, so I want to make something real quick. How about we do that? But hold on. So guys, I got this cool little work apron as a birthday gift, and I like the way it looks. Check it out. I got all the pockets. I can put my little garden tools in the pockets here, and it's a very good material, brown color like I like, and it's pretty cool for me to do my outdoor gardening. I thought it was a very thoughtful gift, and I'm just appreciative for my friend who gave it to me. So yeah, let's do a little something. It's the holiday season, so how about I make a quick little holiday drink. All right, so first let us go out here to the little backyard garden, and what we are looking for today are these tangerines right here. So let's grab a couple of these. That should be fine. So what I did was wash these tangerines up really good. Pick straight from the tree. Chop these in half. Use a nice little citrus juicer like this. Squeeze this. By the way, I got this from the 99-cent store, and it's really clutch. I like it. Once you have collected all of your fresh juice in the cup, you want to get you a decorative ice cube. I have craft ice here. We got kiwi and pomegranate within this ice. Pour the fresh citrus. Now what you do is pour in a sparkling drink of your choice, whether that is champagne, sparkling wine, ginger beer, or you know, something like this. For the sake of this video, I'll use sparkling ice. We get these out here in the hood, and I felt like it'll be a nice little pairing with this. So we'll pour some of that in. And that is my holiday drink. Cheers to the holidays. Thank everybody for tuning in to this video. And I'll see y'all on the next one.